The fourth industrial revolution is in full swing, bringing with it a wave of technological advancements that have the potential to reshape industries and economies across the globe. Artificial intelligence is at the forefront of so many promising transformation and various sectors, including driving inclusive growth. In the most optimistic scenarios, AI, the science of making machines act in rational, intelligent ways, could help poor countries tackle long-standing problems like poverty and joblessness, improving lives and ensuring that the pace inconceivable previous years could be met. Now, in 2019, 14% of large companies used AI, up from 3% in 2018, and that's according to research from firm Gartner. AI feeds on data, using it to learn and adapt. And with the amount of online information expected to triple between 2017 and 2022, AI's reach will only grow. At this time, Michael Zatsev, Managing Director for Africa and CIS at AppsFlyer, joins me to talk more on this. Michael, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start with how AI is impacting businesses across Africa already. What are the imprints that you've seen as regards to artificial technology across the continent as of now?
Thank you. We see it all over the companies, and actually, I'm working in the company that's working with marketeers, and we just recently bought a tool that helping marketeers to understand to make better decisions with an AI tool, and we can see that AI entering at any vertical in Africa. And for the last year, I am trying to drive much more understanding of data and how to make decisions according to data. AI tool will help a lot in Africa, and especially in Nigeria, when I was twice this year. It make the decision much easier, and it helping the decision makers to spend much more time and effort on the places they need to pay their attention, and to let AI to work on the things that we can let the machines work for us.
Now, we know fintech, we know agri-tech, we know edutech, but when we talk about AI technology, where does it come into play in terms of the continent's economic growth? Because a lot of African countries are looking at ways whereby they can scale up the growth of their economies, but then they might not really have the requisite knowledge of how to tap into the resource of AI and apply to their economic metrics. So when we talk about AI technology, how does it play a role in developing Africa's economic growth?
I think it's not there yet. The governments should step in and put much more efforts in education, and inherit these tools in digital transformation to connect the education and to connect their frameworks and facilities to work much more with the eyes. Having said that, Africa is a startup nation. The way the African thinking and the way they want to bring their enthusiasm into life, I believe that AI will help to do it. Once the governments will understand, they need to spend much more time and effort on bringing it to them.
Now, when you look at Africa and other continents of the world, and of course how AI has evolved over time, would you say that the pace is rather slow? Would you say that when it comes to AI powering solutions in Africa, the pace at which its adoption and this particular technology being embraced is quite slow?
It's slower than in the other world. Africans usually will rely on their beliefs and what they can feel, and AI tools they're much more sophisticated, and it's about education, about to have the data-driven approach to understand that these tools can help us to become much better, much faster, and but I recognize that it's there, and I'm truly believe that Africa will take it, and it will rise much faster because of this artificial intelligence tools. It's there. We're at the beginning of the. I don't want to say blown up, but it will be much faster next few years.
But then we know that AI is not without its risks. There are concerns that automation could widen the gulf between the corporate haves and have-nots, and smaller companies without access to robust customer information might struggle even more to compete against the likes of Amazon and Alibaba and all those top international companies. Now, how salient are these concerns? How can we address them?
Well, for sure, we'll see some changes on the economical and workforcement. These small companies have much more abilities to inherit these tools and to rise faster. The giant companies that are coming from abroad, also Africa have big companies like Jumia and MTN, all the local banks and the global African banks. They all need to consider inherit data tools, AI tools, and to be data-driven companies. I believe that smaller companies can adopt it much faster and integrate to their systems. And due to this fast adoption, they will rise faster. Yeah, I think.
Now, Michael, one particular argument is that as much as AI possesses immense potential for socioeconomic transformation, it also serves as a threat to jobs. And people say that a lot of people will lose their jobs when AI comes into full mode. So how true is this when we talk about reducing the poverty unemployment index in Africa? Where is the balance, and how do we strike that balance and eliminate that fear?
I believe the balance should come from the governments and the big businesses. They need to invest in programs that equip workers with skill needs to drive the digital economy. They could train AI development. They could train data analysis. They could train AI demand. So AI will definitely uh, replace these people in the jobs they did, but it will move them to learn and to be much more sophisticated in other jobs. I also believe maybe our work week should be shorter due to the AI tools, and we can the work-life balance will be much better. I would like to say again that the government should invest much more in education and to make people much more into the data and the digital era. And with that, they will have much more sophisticated jobs where they will earn much more.
You've actually harped more, Michael, on the issue of government investing in AI technology, but then there might just be some countries who may not have the financial might to attract what AI solutions can provide to solve the economic issues within their confines. So I'd like to find out from you, how expensive is AI technology?
It's not expensive, and it depends on the vertical that you are using it. And actually, this is a good question, but because I mentioned governments, but there are also big businesses, and like Appslar, that we coming to the field, we coming to the country that we want to develop our business. We firstly we're spending a lot about education. We bring our people to educate the companies that working with us, the point of contacts, our point of contact, and they taking this knowledge and they may be changing their works, but we want to spend much more effort from us to bring this knowledge to the people, and then to make business with people that understand and can work with this data.
Now, finally, Michael, before I let you go, there's also this concern about AI developing a mind of its own. A lot of people are skeptical about how accelerated in terms of advancements and knowledge acquisition the AI can metamorphose into, and that might just take over systems, and of course it would dominate those systems and run it independently. Do you think that when countries begin to install the capacity and capabilities of AI and interface it with African businesses, economy, and use it to run their businesses, there's a possibility that it might just erode the peculiarities and solve isolated problems, but not the pecuniary problems of the African countries in which this AI technology is domiciled. Is there such a fear that we need to also be wary of?
I will say actually the opposite. I met so many startups in Africa, and so much people that investing in African development and to make life easier and better. Then I have no fear that it can happen, because the driving the future of Africa, the startup nation, and the startup approach of these people is much more sophisticated, and they won't let it go that way.
Michael Zaitsev, Managing Director for Africa and CIS at Apps Flyer, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Now, as Africa embraces AI technologies, the continent stands at the cusp of a transformative era, and by harnessing the power of AI responsibly and inclusively, Africa might just be able to unlock its economic potential, solve critical challenges, and create a more prosperous future for its citizens without fear or restrictions. Thank you so much for being part of today's edition of Business Edge. Don't forget to follow us on social media. We are at New Central TV. You can head on to our website, www.newcentral.africa, and you can download our mobile app on App Store and Play Store. Until next time, when we see you again, I am Lekon Onobanjo. To stay with us, we'll bring you the news at the top of the hour.